Hi Random Scottish History patrons, and welcome to another Friday show and tell session. Today we have Mauchline Ware. Mauchline Ware were a series of ornaments and useful items that were made from mainly sycamore wood and varnished a lot. So they would be given a coat of varnish once the object had been made, then a transfer of maybe a notable person, say like Robert Burns, would be put on it, maybe a geographical location to turn it into a tourist souvenir. So you could have any town, usually tourist resorts in the big cities, but there have been some fairly out of the way places turned into Mauchline Ware. So the transfers would be put on, then they would be varnished again, left, varnished again, left. This process made them really durable, and you can tell that in the way that so much of it has survived to now. They started making them in about the 1820s, and until the mid-19th century they tended to be hand painted, maybe with flowers or what have you, something to make it pretty. After the 1850s you started to get transfers used more often, which gave a cleaner picture, and you could make a series of uniform objects, all representing the same place or person or what have you. So literally anything you can think of that could be made in wood was made. I mean, like anything, tea caddies and pin cushions and boxes and snuff boxes and book covers, just anything that could be made out of wood you were going to get in Mauchline Ware. It's called Mauchline Ware because the majority of it was made kind of famous by a W and A Smith of Mauchline in Ayrshire, kind of near Kilmarnock. So a lot of the objects came from there, and that gave its name, the place gave its name to the items. So first we have, I'll show you the box. It's fairly simple. We kind of octagonal box of Dunoon. Dunoon's East Bay is what's shown here. We'll see if we can show you this on this camera. Try not get the light on it. So I'm not sure if you're seeing this in this camera, but that's a representation of Dunoon Bay. And towards the later 19th century, and these were made up into the 1930s, you started getting photographs used a little more in the transfers. You can see this has a green button that's a bit scuffed, and I'll show you this clasp in the camera too. The clasp is broken. You can see how it would have worked. So, and we have this beautiful blue inside. Now this came with a little extra token. So this is Burns's monument, because like I say, Burns, fairly popular characters to have on the Mauchline Ware. So we'll see if we can show you this without the light annoying it too much. This is Burns's monument. I've threaded this. I put the thread and I just kind of wove a kind of string out of some thread to put it on. So on the back it says made of wood from the land of Burns, and again it tended to be sycamore wood because it was paler, I think. So the transfers, the black transfers, came out really nice against the pale sycamore wood. So this is our first wee box. It's a beautiful wee thing. Beautiful. I'm not using it to house anything at the moment other than the wee token that came with it. So we'll put this to the side and we'll give you a look at some of the other Mauchline Ware books we have. Okay, so this is A Life of Mary Queen of Scots, this book. And it's only just tiny, you can see it's tiny. And there on it you have Stirling Castle from the back walk pictured on the front of this one. This actually also had quite an ornate spine to it, but it was crumbling by the time I got it. So you have this tiny wee book. Really is tiny. And the print in it is very small. Very small. I'll show you in this camera again, because it's quite a thing. It's lovely. Lovely book. You get the odd illustration too. They weren't too shy to illustrate these tiny wee books, so that people could get more enjoyment out of them, because as we know, people prefer pictures over text. So Cameron Binders in Glasgow put this one back together for me because it was crumbling at the spine. The next one I'll show you is Sir Walter Scott's Marmion. Again, it's another very tiny little book. And here you have Walter Scott's residence of Abbotsford, shown on the front of this, represented in a wee transfer. It's very nice, it's lovely. This one hasn't needed rebounding, this one of Marmion. Came in one piece and it's quite beautiful. And you can see they go to the effort of just making them pretty little objects. Because they were souvenirs, I think they wanted to make them kind of covetable, you know, so people could collect them. So here you have the introduction to Marmion, which is Sir Walter Scott's epic poem of Flodden Field. So you have the Battle of Flodden Field, that is. And our last Mauchline Ware is something rather special. These books, the Mauchline Ware books, you can find scans of them on the site in the scanned images section. I did scan them and take photos when scans maybe weren't so easy, because you can see they are not flat, they're rounded because of the varnish in the wood. So putting them on a flatbed scanner to scan them it doesn't work very well. You know, anything that's not touching the glass is likely to come out blurry. So this one is a photo album, and you have represented Sir Robert Burns. Sir Robert Burns, did he ever get a knighthood? I'm not sure. I think he probably should have. Robert Burns is pictured here anyway, with a few different places. So here you have Burns's cottage up here. I'll show you this here. So that's Burns's cottage. And the Alloway Kirk, which is the scene of Tam O'Shanter when he's running away from the witches, having their party. And you have the Braes of Ballochmyle and Culzean, probably the castle, Culzean Castle there. And on the back you have the Burns Monument here. It's got very nice font for this album. And the clip itself is quite meaty. It's quite a thing, so you can see that it has gold edging too. All of the pictures inside this have been scanned up into the the site. So someone has gone to the bother, a previous owner has gone to the bother of taking pictures of varying places around Scotland. There's a couple of places outside of Scotland too. I believe there's a place in Rome shown also. So you have these, and towards the end you have some of his family. I assume it's his family. You have some people occasionally. I'm not sure if you can see this. Again, they're all scanned into the site so that folk could take a really good look at them. So this is what we have for Mauchline Ware. Is 3 books, photo album, Life of Queen Mary and the Marmion, and a wee box. And that's our Mauchline collection here at Random Scottish History. So I hope you enjoyed that. I find Mauchline Ware really interesting, just because it can be made into anything and is so collectible. You have organisations online that you can pay to become a collector of Mauchline Ware, and join varying societies. So I think I won't, but I'm quite happy for anyone to come and have a wee look at these, take a wee closer look at these, because I just love them. They're lovely things to have. So that is today's Random Scottish History Show and Tell. I'm running out of things to show you, so I think next week it might be the picnic basket, the 19th century picnic basket, which is this thing here that you've seen in maybe a few videos. The leather on it has turned to powder. It's so old, so we'll see. So enjoy it, and we'll see you next Friday. Take it easy.